everyone, and
Hold on.
Happy Sunday. Welcome to the Survival live stream. This is going to be our last interview of the Survival Seeds 2024 season. And we're really excited about this interview, and we're really excited to get into it. We had a lot of final videos this week, and a lot of really good final videos this week. I think I counted 4 new videos, not including our own. 4 new videos to the hashtag, and I think all of them were final videos.
Yes, indeed.
So Grace NYC, Miss Grace put up her final video. She showed what was left of her garden and how her plants were doing and everything.
Oh, that's new.
Yeah. And she was talking about how she had a really great year because of the dirt she got, because of the soil she got, that she got really, really good soil. And she showed Luffy, her chicken, was having a field day. She had her little pen out in the garden. She was picking apart tomatoes, or not in the garden, out in the yard, in grass. And she went into what she liked about the collab, and overall had a really, really great final video. Gail Southern Living, Miss Gail, also had an incredible final video. She had a pretty successful garden year and talked about some great ideas and recommendations for Survival Seeds 2025. That's interesting to say.
Right?
Instead of 24. Canadian Family Life, who is our interview this week. I love her indoor garden setup, and everything looks super great. Her outdoor herbs are looking really great, and I really like the whole setup they have for their indoor garden and what they're showing, how they do that. They got a mist thing to water it. It's a really cool indoor garden. So if you're looking for ideas on indoor gardens, I definitely recommend that one. She had a great mail call as part of her video, and it was just a really great video. Dark Lord Menet put up his final video. Mr. Xander had a great video. Everything is looking good. He had some weather and deer issues this year with his plants, but he's wrapped up for winter, and he's getting ready for indoor gardening, which is super exciting, and I'm excited to get our indoor garden started. And those are all the videos I could find. I actually had a lot of trouble finding some of those videos just while I was looking through the hashtag. I had to go through it 3 times, and some of them still didn't come up, which was, I thought that was kind of weird. But it was a great week. Do you got any updates? Oh, October 18th is coming up.
And 19th. I thought it was the 19th.
Well, 19th, 18th is the limit.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking
October
about.
18th is coming up, and that is the last date you can put up for your final video. That's the last date you can put your final video up. And the final video is going to be its own wheel in the giveaway, in the big giveaway at the end of or middle of the month, really. So if you are looking into, or if you want to be a part of the, just make sure you get your Survival Seeds final videos out if you want to be part of that wheel, and then commenting on the final videos will also, I think, be a separate wheel. Let's bring up Mr. Jesse. I think I'm rambling.
Hello.
I was wondering if you were going to bring us up.
It's only been 10 minutes.
First off, KK, why are you so sarcastic?
I get to be. This was a birthday present from Trey last year, so.
Okay. No, I was just going to comment on the final video thing you were just talking about. So you're right, Trey. I went through the video list, the Survival Seed 2024, and sometimes they come up, sometimes you'll see the videos doubled up. You'll see it here, and then you'll see it again down here. The same video. Why it does that, I don't know. But so there are 4 videos in there, and if you didn't put hashtag Survival Seeds 2024 on your description, it may not, it won't show. If you just put Survival Seed or Survival Seed 24, it has to be Survival Seeds 2024. And then final video, if you're putting in a final video. Now, if you guys remember, when we started this, we said you had to have an entry video and a final video in order to be included in the final giveaway. So the final giveaway is on the 19th at 5 p.m., but you have until the 18th to get your video up. Okay.
Right.
And when we do the wheel, just like we had the entry video wheel, we're going to have the final video wheel. If you have an entry video and a final video, you'll have 2 chances in there. You'll have your entry and your final. If you don't have a final video, then you won't have it. You won't be on the wheel. You got to have, because the agreement was you had to have an entry video and a final video, or you weren't going to be on the wheel. And so that's what we said, and we're going to honor what we promised. So get your final videos in there, okay? I'm not saying it's got to be 10 minutes long or 20 minutes long.
No, definitely not.
Yeah, just get it. Even if it's a few minutes long, that's fine. But we want to know some of the things that you had pointed out earlier in some of our lives, where talk about, what went well, what didn't go so well, what did you learn? Are you happy with your harvest? I mean, I don't know if you guys saw the video that the Vineyard Chicks put out. Their final video was awesome. They did a very good job of showing not only the harvest, but they showed the garden. They showed, some of the things that they liked, they didn't like. I mean, they even showed you the bad fruit, if you will. There was a few of them that, were like a little bit what do you call it?
Wrinkly?
No, they were disformed or deformed. They were deformed. I'm saying, and that's okay, but they still had a harvest, right? And then they showed you some of the canning that they did and some of the stuff that it was awesome. If you haven't seen the video from the Vineyard Chicks final video, go check it out. That'll give you some ideas on what you can put out and what you can talk about and how to present your final video. But listen, it's all about learning, guys. Everything we've done this whole year with this collaboration was about learning what works, what doesn't work. There's some people, I think Scott's one of them, that none of his seeds produced. He did none of the 6 seeds produced.
Yeah.
And it's depends on your soil, it depends on your location. So, but that's a learning. So that, okay, well, next year probably won't try Marianas. Maybe I'll try something else, or I'll try, red beans instead of kidney beans. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Red beans and kidney beans are the same thing?
Yeah. Kidney beans are red.
Okay, red beans and pinto beans. Maybe I'll do pinto beans instead of red kidney beans. Oh my God, semantics. Anyway, but no, so the giveaway is going to be awesome. We got we got a ton of prizes to give away, and we want you guys to be in on it. But we're asking that you put in your final video and make sure it says final in the description. Otherwise, it won't come up. All right. And I no sense in showing the stats, but because you just showed the 4 videos. We had 4 videos, and one of them was yours, by the way. So really only had 3.
I also saw Dark Lord Menet had a video. I don't know if that was on
Yeah.
your list.
I did.
And that's in there. That's included.
Yes.
But we had a total of 439 videos so far.
That's awesome.
That were actually garden videos. But we have 617 videos total if you count all your lives and all the announcements and the giveaway stuff. 617 videos, which is awesome.
I know. It's crazy to think about.
Right?
Wow.
But anyway, I'm looking forward to talking to and I'm going to tell you this right now about Tiffany. She's Canadian. Don't hold that against her, all right, folks? She's Canadian, but don't hold that against her. But she has got to be the most OCD gardener I've ever seen.
Look at her.
Yeah, I know. I see her making those faces down there. But she's got to be the most OCD gardener I've ever seen. Okay, but she is meticulous. They have an awesome system. Her and her husband, they've done very well with this Survival Seed 2024. So I'm looking forward to bringing her up and letting her tell us all about all her lies.
Us too. Before we do that, I forgot to say hi to the chat. I'm gonna check something. Can you make sure your echo cancellation is off? I heard me again. Sorry.
Echo
No, I just checked it.
Hello.
Okay, I think we might be good. I don't know. But Dana B, Grace NYC, Jennifer Ocean Homestead, thank you guys so much for being here. Hey, Be Charming, Canadian Family Life, Dark Lord Menet, and
Adventures in Gardening. Thank you guys so much for being here.
Happy Sunday, everyone.
Happy Sunday. Hope you guys are having a great day.
Hey, it all adds up.
And Troy Sutton, thank you guys so much.
You're gonna say Trey.
Hi.
Hi.
You were.
Hi, Lewis Acre Farm and Bubble Bibble, Chris's Creation Fun, Watt Life, and Jennifer Ocean Homestead. Thank you guys so much for being here. Gail Southern Living,
Hi,
we
Miss
really
Gail.
appreciate you guys. So without further ado, hi.
Hey,
everybody.
Hey, Tim.
Okay. I got one thing to say. You ladies up there, you are the reason why people call me Canadian Family Farm, not Life. And it
so
still
sorry.
says it in your commercial.
Oh no, I'm so sorry.
Well,
Okay.
so you're saying that if the wheel lands on Canadian Family Farm, you're not going to take the win?
Well, see, it's CFL, so it still counts.
Okay.
Oh no, I noticed that the first time around and I never mentioned it because it wasn't such a big deal. And then all of a sudden a lot of people I didn't know who were part of the collaboration started calling me this Canadian Family Farm. I'm like, oops. So every time we see it, we just have a little chuckle and a smile. It's just so sweet.
Sorry.
I only say that because I saw Gail say that to me in the chat down there. So
Yeah, I see that. Andale Homestead and Ann Garvey, hello. How are you doing, Miss Tiffany?
not bad. We've been fighting a cold this last while, hence why I'm kind of yeah. The whole family had a cold this week, so it's been fun to say the least.
Yeah,
That's awful.
I feel for you on that one. We had one last week and it was awful.
Yeah. So,
Have
but
you
we're
had
starting
your-
to feel better. So,
That's
Have
good.
you had a first frost yet?
oh yeah, we had a frost a long time ago.
Wow.
Really?
Our first frost was back at the beginning of just at the end of August, at the beginning of September.
Oh wow.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Wow.
Which was surprising because we had the frost down here, but Jennifer and Rem up north, they had the warning, but they, as far as I know, they never got it. We got it, and I don't understand that
Wow.
because we're farther south than they are.
Right.
That's interesting.
That is interesting.
Huh.
Yeah, it was very interesting. And then when in the video that I did today, I lived that clip that you see me harvesting was actually done right after my last update, like 2 weeks ago. I literally had to harvest that Sunday because we had a risk of frost, and we got the frost.
Oh,
Wow.
man.
So I am like, oh yeah, that's not good. So yeah, we're already getting the frost down here. So
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Oh, and
Um,
Garvey's from
I-
Canada.
I'm not actually sure if we've gotten our first frost yet. It's been very cold every morning, but I haven't actually checked whether there's a frost or not.
Really?
well, that was one of the first things I would do when I wake up was I would look out the front door and see at the plants. And when I woke up the one morning and all I see is white glistening, I'm like, uh-oh. And this one I didn't know about. So the very first one I had no warning. After
That's
that, I
awful.
used a blanket to cover everything. So
Yeah. That's awful.
So,
Well,
moving a
Still
little
at
bit.
90 degrees.
Of course. Everyone's getting their
Yeah,
first
we're still
frost.
90 degrees here.
Good place to be.
Finally dropping down to the double digits instead of the triple digits. The
So
rest of us-
I put the frost date almanac in the chat. So if you want to check your
Nice.
frost date, you can click on there and
Oh, that's cool.
there it is. Okay, yeah.
I didn't know that was a thing.
check your.
So Miss Tiffany, how did your survival seeds garden go? Did you preserve, save, and harvest what you had set out to do?
Well, I still have to deal with the tomatoes. I haven't done them yet. We enjoyed the peppers, though I will admit I didn't realize it was a sweet heat type pepper, and I put it on hubby's. We made pizzas the other night, and I put it on the pizza, and needless to say, he's like, "What was with the hotness?" I'm like,
Oh no. We didn't know
so
it
he
was
had fun
gonna
with
be
that,
so,
but
we didn't know
So,
it
yeah,
was
we-
gonna be so spicy.
yeah, we didn't know it was going to be so spicy. So for people who don't usually
It's hot.
do the spice, it was interesting, but we've been having fun with the kidney beans because we counted Jack, our kidney bean, out, and sure enough, he's got 2 more beans growing. So it was fun and amazing, and we've got plans to continue on throughout the winter. Even though this collaboration is done, we're going to plant more, and we're going to continue on with them throughout the winter. So,
Were you able to save very many seeds?
Oh yeah, we got a lot of pepper seeds. We've only got the 4 kidney bean seeds currently, plus the pods that are over there that aren't ready yet. And I will be doing the tomatoes, like I said, and then we haven't opened Susie's squash yet. We're probably going to do it on the Thanksgiving weekend, which is next weekend. So
Nice.
Yeah.
and we'll save the seeds from that. So I'll probably put like a community tab up. I know the collaboration will be down, but I'll probably show everybody this is what we got from our seeds and such on our community tab, so everybody gets to see it.
I actually did want to touch on that a little bit. So we are going to be moving to an off season after the final giveaway on the 19th, but we're going to be continuing the collaboration in the sense that the people who have final videos are going to be invited up to be normal panelist members. And we can talk about the collaboration and what we're doing during the off season in preparation for next year. So if you guys are interested in being on the panel, like Miss Tiffany and Mr. Jesse and Miss Lisa, just get a final video up and we will hopefully be in touch.
Well, I'm going to Disneyland first after this is over.
You need to send me a snow globe.
Snow globe.
No. Snow
I also-
globe.
Jesse, I meant to ask you, Jesse, did I put final in my video enough for you? It was on the thumbnail and the title.
You did it. You did.
And I tagged you.
Exactly. So I got you on there. You're one of the ones.
Well, you said to make sure that it was well labeled, and I well labeled it for you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Finally. Yeah. I'm gonna take a 6 months vacation after this is over. No, I'm just joking.
Miss Gail has Mariana tomatoes in the freezer. That's
Yeah.
nice.
wow.
Our
Throwing them
Marianas
in-
did really well too.
Throwing them in the freezer is the best way to just like not dealing with this now. I'll do it later. We have like 80 cups of onions in our freezer. Because
I was gonna say, but who doesn't do that? Everybody does that. Everybody says, "Okay, you know what? Put in the freezer. We'll get to it later."
Yep.
I have like peppers, like a bag of sliced peppers from like 2 years ago that I still haven't used.
yeah, when you don't want to deal with something, you just put it in the freezer. That's why I was
Right.
I'm kidding. KK hasn't put me in the freezer yet.
I'm surprised I haven't put Bunky in there.
Not Bunky. Her
Never
maybe.
Bunky.
So what is something that you would add to the survival seeds lineup? Like if you're going to add one plant, what do you think would be helpful and for what reason?
I would think radishes because they're a quick grower. They add nice flavor to pretty much anything. You can cook them or you can eat them raw, and they do go to seed pretty quickly. So, and a lot of seeds from what I've seen and because I've actually had radishes go to seed by accident in my gardens in the
Wow.
past. So
That's
I would
awesome.
go with a radish.
And they are very radishing.
Yep.
So
And they're red too. So, red and white, Canada, man.
Good answer.
okay.
Okay.
Miss Jennifer says it's a blessing in disguise that her peppers didn't grow. She doesn't like heat.
Oh.
Yeah, we didn't
Another
know
way to look at it.
I didn't
We
realize
put
they
it
were
on
gonna be
there.
so potent. Because it was like, well, yeah, maybe a little bit is good because you can put it in salsa and stuff, but it's
It's
a lot worse
it's
than
not
I
a
thought
little
it
bit.
was.
It's not. a
And
little
ours weren't fully ripened either. They were on the cross between green and red.
Oh,
So it wasn't full because we had with the frost and everything. I couldn't let them ripen on the vine and everything, and I couldn't get them to ripen in the house. So it's like, so we run that crossover where the sweet was gone, but the heat was there, and
Right.
yeah,
Oh boy.
But
they
you
may
can
have
always
stayed a little bit late because we usually pick ours green.
Well, see, the thing was, is we were actually seeing frost damage on them. That's why I was like, okay, I can't let them stay out on the stuff. We were actually seeing the frost damage on them. So
Got it.
Well, on those peppers, they were kind of sweet heat. But the thing is you can always make cowboy candy out of them.
Yeah.
I never thought of that. Yeah, cowboy candy. I never thought of that.
If you can do it with jalapenos, you should be able to do it with the.
I've never made it before, but I should look into that because I never thought of that.
Cowboys like cowboy candy.
Yep.
There's a video on it from Page Family Homestead that we watched a few years ago, and that is
Lisa's
my
got
mom's.
one. Lisa's got a video
nice.
on it. Yeah.
Okay, I'll have to check them out because I've never made it before, but I never thought of that.
It's good.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, it's
never
a
thought
really
of it.
good one.
Mom really like. Dad doesn't like it because it's also sweet as well as spicy, and Dad doesn't like sugar. But Mom really likes it. It's good.
I see Hubby in the chat is saying they were good. They just got to him because he didn't realize they were hot.
Oh no. So do you want to talk about your plant setup indoors? The topic tonight is indoor and fall gardening, and I was curious to talk to you about it because you have such a cool indoor garden.
Well, let's just say this. Actually, I'm sitting literally right next to it, so I can pull over one of the pots, which is like literally right next to me. Here we go. Here's our little kale pot.
Those are so cool.
So it has the label can come off, so you can switch them out, and you'll see down here that the sticks can come out too. And then the pot is not part of its base; it's a separate base, so it catches the water. It has the holes, as you see, for drainage and everything. And this was all 3D printed on a 3D printer.
So cool.
So cool.
That is so cool. I love the idea.
That's so wrong. That's just so wrong.
Wow.
That was 3D printed on a 3D printer using PETG filament. So that was all 3D printed and took a long time to 3D print.
Right.
But it was actually my husband's brainchild. We had gardens in the past that got overtaken by weeds, or once we moved here, it wasn't weeds so much as it was the pests. We had raccoons and deers that did not follow any of the norm. Like anything you would try to do to get rid of the pest, it didn't work. They would just push it down, jump over it, barrel through.
Oh no.
In fact, so we were trying to figure out a way to do it indoors and such. And Chris came up with this idea. It's an old bookcase that we had that he's torn down, as you see, and then he built this. Now, we did learn throughout this growing season, one of the things we learned is with indoor growing, you definitely need the correct lighting.
Yeah, definitely.
We had some stunting. Yeah, we had stunting and stuff like that. We kept it on the lights were kept on like a schedule. When I got up in the morning at 7, I turned them on. They'd go off at 9 at night. Same with the misters. They had their schedule too. But he came about this because he wanted to grow indoors, and we just added each element as we could. He did the panel himself, like the control panel. He did all that. It's going to be revamped here because we're about to fix it up because some of the things are no longer needed and everything. He came up with the mister system based off of growing mushrooms.
Oh, nice.
He saw a bunch of people who were growing mushrooms, and he based growing that system off of that. And yeah, like I said, we learned this time around with lights. Lights are a big thing. What we're actually in the next update, you'll see that we're addressing the lighting issue in the house for our winter growing. We have white, red, and blue lights right now, and I think the lumens are at 2,000 lumens. I think it is currently.
Nice.
We have new ones coming that will be here this week that will bring the lumens from the 2,000 up to 11,000 because it just wasn't strong enough. We had stalling issues and we had stretching and stuff like that. So he worked very hard on building this. Like I said, he built it. We both painted it. He did all the lighting, all of the stuff just so we could grow indoors because we have the pest problem here. And then what you saw outside was my daughter's, her uncle made her that for one of her birthdays. It usually has flowers in it, but this year we hadn't done anything. So we just transferred what we could outside and such for that. But it's hard to have an actual garden where we are. So this was why we went with the indoor garden and
That's
such.
awesome.
And we were going to try hydroponics, but it just wasn't working the way with this system. It wasn't working. We just couldn't get it to work with this. So we had an idea.
What about your tomatoes? I know you had to put some tomatoes outside, right?
Tom Tomato, he got really, really tall and such.
Right. But my question is, regarding your tomatoes, do you have the same pest issue with hornworms up there in Canada as we do down here?
I don't know if anybody else has them, but I never had a hornworm at all. I didn't even know what a hornworm was until you guys started talking about it. I've never heard of them myself.
Wow.
And I know we had some blossom rot, I think, on a couple of the tomatoes. And I know that we have, blight? That we can get blight up here for those. But as for any kind of bugs, even squash bugs, Susie never had any squash bugs on her either. I didn't even know they existed either. I knew potato bugs, but as far as I know,
So
those
what does that
pests-
tell you? What does that tell you?
Yeah.
That bugs don't even want to live on Canada.
it's too cold up here.
You know, what more message do you need?
Yeah, exactly. Well, we had the only bugs problem we had was when it was indoors, like I said in the opening of the video this week. You all watched them get planted, thrive, then disaster struck with the perps that we had and such. So the blue things have been working, and that's the only thing we've had in the way of pests outside. I don't know what it was, but nothing. We had no bad insects or anything. So we got lucky, I think, in that respect.
We've had them some what, about that long,
Oh, my
about 4 inches long at least. You know,
Yeah.
they get big down here.
Yeah, I've never seen a hornworm, so
We've had some really huge ones this year and the last year, and no
Yeah,
one likes to touch them.
No, why would no?
yes, slugs.
Every time there's a slug, a hornworm, any kind of bug, someone's calling me.
No, it's not worth it.
But then you can feed them to the emus or Bailey.
Nice.
The goat is insane. We got one goat who keeps eating the hornworms when we try to give them to the birds, and it's kind of gross.
Well, that was the thing too. Is back a couple of years ago, we did have chickens, so that also helped with the pests and such.
Yeah.
No, please don't send me any. No. No.
Well,
I don't think they get past the border.
Oh,
I mean, if you're feeling left out, I'm sure everyone in the community would be glad to get together and send you a whole bunch of them.
new collaboration.
Okay, you know what?
Post
I
pictures.
will accept your pests if they are rubber and a child's toy.
I think I would enjoy
Oh,
that.
I had one of those. I had a cricket that was like this big, and you roll it backwards, and then it moves. I scared her multiple times with that thing.
It wasn't a cricket, it was a cockroach.
Yeah, cockroach. That's right.
The kids have little spiders that are pretty realistic, and if you're not careful, they'll get you with them.
No, it's awful. Awful. Like both of them love them.
Okay, we had a Lego spider. Accessory.
Oh, that's so cute.
And they don't look that realistic. And Bunky put it inside of the book Kayla had been reading. And so Kayla opens her book to where she had her bookmark, and there's a little Lego spider. She threw the book across the room, and she loves her books. She just threw it across the room.
Okay, yeah. I can see that.
Not fun.
Yeah, it's fun for me.
Yeah, no, not freeze-dried worms, no.
What is the singular best plant that your family grows in the colder seasons, and why?
So far we've had major success, even though it doesn't look like it, with oak leaf lettuce.
Nice.
We've had a real good success with that.
Is there a reason you guys like that variety?
It's the one that we were sent, to be honest. It was the first CNC Farms actually sent it to us. We won some seeds on her thing, and she asked me what I wanted, and I said some kind of a lettuce, and she chose oak leaf lettuce, and it just seems to be what we had some success with. Another one is basil. We haven't had any issue growing basil. So
nice. What are some things you use that lettuce and basil for?
Yeah, it kind of does look like oak leaves.
Oh, cool.
Pizza.
Well, the basil, I just learned that you can make like basil infused oil, so I'm going to be trying that. I actually just made lemon balm infused oil.
Nice.
But I just like to use. I've always, since I was a teenager, grown fresh herbs and used them in my cooking and stuff. So I just love the different flavors and such. And we love lettuce in salads, on burgers, on tacos, all that sort of stuff. So lettuce, and it grows so quickly and so abundantly that it's another one to have. And that can get pricey, especially during the winters here when it's cold and snowy and it's not growing. So cost effective is how we also look at it too, is what's some of the things that are cost effective that we can grow indoors during the winter when it's a little more expensive and such.
Right.
So
Right.
That makes sense.
and then and kale. We've had some success with kale too.
Oh, nice.
So if I may ask,
That was great.
Tiffany, do you do any dehydrating, freeze drying, canning?
I can and I dehydrate. I don't have a freeze dryer.
You can
I
and you
make-
dehydrate.
Yeah,
Okay.
with the kale, I take the kale and I dehydrate it, and then I make it into a powder, and I, making sure no kids are listening, put it into the kids' food. That way they get the nutrients and they don't know it's there.
Mm-hmm.
I do the same thing with the spinach too. They make it into a powder and you mix it in with like macaroni or pizza or something like that. They don't know it's there, and they get the vitamins that they need and such. So when you have picky eaters, you have to. Well, grant you, they're not as picky as they used to be. Like Alex used to be a very picky eater, but he's expanding his palate now. But yeah, we do that mostly.
Maybe I should try making little zucchini powders for you.
No, ew, no.
You'll never know it's there.
Hey, I heard yesterday, KK, there was somebody in our chat that said they made zucchini brownies.
Chocolate zucchini.
Chocolate zucchini brownies.
So I mean,
Now,
like
if
to
you
me,
could-
that just sounds like you're ruining a perfectly good brownie.
Or you're ruining a perfectly good zucchini.
You can't do that.
Depending on who you look.
But
There's no
no, if
redeeming
you can make
quality.
zucchini taste like pineapple, why can't you make a zucchini taste like a brownie? Of course, Lisa
She
makes it
doesn't-
taste like banana bread.
She doesn't
Why
like the
not?
pineapple zucchinis either.
It's
So
just good.
zucchini would be good as a brownie, I think.
I can't think of any
Make the
food
video.
that I dislike to the extent that she dislikes zucchinis.
Right?
I'm just
Like,
special.
I can't match it. She's got such a detesting to zucchinis. For what reason?
I don't know. So Miss Tiffany, how long have you had that indoor gardening set up?
Believe it or not, we started it just before we started our YouTube channel. So just a little under 2 years.
That's
Oh
awesome.
wow!
Is that
He's
the
been
first
working
time
on it for 2 years.
That's awesome.
And guys, let me say, I'm going to tell you this indoor garden is very meticulous. Down to the lighting. They got the lighting fixed up. I mean, we're talking LED to the max. You saw all the little containers they make. It's like
Yeah.
it's an amazing indoor
I can
garden.
actually unplug you guys and push you
look
down
at
a little
this.
bit.
Look at this. I
And
mean,
there
you're
you go.
talking PVC, all perfectly. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't put a level on it.
That looks so cool.
Oh, trust me, he leveled it.
Everything's leveled. Everything's color coded. Everything is just marked.
Yep.
I mean, it's
Nice. That looks
Yeah.
nice.
And then of course we have the over there. You see the pots over there on the ground with the right there.
yeah.
Those were added, and he's got the light here on it, but he's going to make a whole new lighting system for over there because we're still
wow.
going to grow in those pots.
Oh wow!
So he's planning on making a whole new lighting system for over there too, which is coming up in some of our videos. But yeah, those
It's
were just
like
added because we need someplace for the kidney beans.
It's like an indoor hydroponic system, but without the hydro. It's just
Yeah.
Aponics
just the plants. And
Yeah, it's without the
lighting,
water and stuff. So yeah.
Without the water, right?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, that's why we did the misting system. We found that was the easier way to do it. So, and the misters aren't running right now because the humidity was a little high in here, so it's not running currently.
Nice.
Those things are awesome. Those
Is
We
that
even put a
the-
little. We also put a little personal touch. We won a garden flag from Butler Family Farms.
Oh,
I
I'm
had
sorry.
it going over the garden since we do indoor gardening.
That's awesome.
So is that your first indoor garden setup, or have you been
Yes.
doing a little bit before that?
Well, like I said, I used to grow herbs, and hang on a second, a little dry.
You good?
Excuse me. I've grown herbs my entire life, like since I was little. And when we lived over at the other house, we tried some indoor gardening with some actual like gardening stations. They just didn't work. We tried doing our own with grow lights in old fluorescent fixtures, and we just couldn't get it to work. So we've tried over the years trying to do it. This is the first time it's actually worked out perfectly the way we want it to. And I think it's mainly in the part for the fact that we're using the LEDs. So
Right.
yeah, I just gotta plug back in here.
Awesome.
That is awesome.
That is so cool.
I don't know. So But yeah, it's been working great. Like I said, it's been for the last 2 years since we started our YouTube channel. It was just before we started it. So you all have, if you go back into our different, I think I've got 2 different playlists that have 2023 and 2024 growing indoors. We started it also as homeschooling project for the kids to
Nice.
teach them how to grow and such. They got to pick their own seeds and what they wanted and such. And they've been they help us water and everything like that too. So
That's wonderful. That's a really great thing to have them doing.
yeah, so they've learned too. So
That's great. What would you say is the biggest thing you've learned from your experiences indoor gardening?
like I said, lighting is key. And something you don't think about when you have an outdoor garden, it never crosses your mind, is pH balancing your water. You never think of that when you have an outdoor garden because it comes from the rain or it comes from your garden hose and it's got all the different elements and such. You don't have those elements indoors. So pH balancing your water is the best thing you can do. We didn't do it for the first, I think it was the first round, and we couldn't figure out why our seedlings were dying because most seedlings, like, I think it's a pH, and hubby, correct me if I'm wrong down there in the chat, but I'm pretty sure they like anywhere between a 5.4 pH and a 6.5 pH. So like you want it in that range. Either side of it can be too acidic or too alkaline, so you have to be very careful. There are natural ways you can do it. Vinegar is one of them. You can use vinegar to bring your pH down and baking soda to bring it up.
Yeah.
But they also do, excuse me. They also have special stuff you can get. We got some stuff because we were doing it so often. We went through so much vinegar in the house and it was getting ridiculous. We got specific stuff that you can use for plants to pH balance. So pH balancing is one of the biggest things with indoor plants, is make sure that you have that. Hang on, he's gonna go grab it for me. Chris just came upstairs, everyone. He was in the background. He's just gonna grab it. Yeah, but we got this stuff to make sure that we can pH balance our water. So what we needed was this little kit here, as you guys can see.
Nice. We
So
have
this one does the pH. This one does the parts per million.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's the parts per million.
Nice.
Good to know. That's our calibrators. Ooh, okay, there we go. And this is the one that does the up. So if you go too low, you add a very little bit of this, and it goes back up. And the same thing with the down, which is right here. You put just a very little bit. Once, what you do is ladies probably know this. You take your pH balancer, you test your water, whatever it reads. Okay, so say it reads 7.4 or whatever. You take your little eyedropper and add maybe 4 or 5 of these.
It's like 1 to 2 mil.
Yeah, very, very, very little bit.
Very,
Stir
very
it around. Always remember to stir because it will settle. And then you test it again with your pH balancer and make sure it's in the thing. If you've gone too low, then you definitely only need like 1 drop of this. Doesn't matter how low you go, 1 drop, it'll bring it back up. So that's what we switched over to, is those things. And it's what's helped us tremendously with the indoor garden. Okay, I'm just gonna
It's
hand it
really
back.
awesome. And it's most likely a lot more.
Lost him. Tiffany, until they get back. So Tiffany, if somebody wanted to do that this year or next year, is the pH system very expensive?
I
For
can't
the meter
remember.
and then the
I
additive.
believe. Okay, I'm going to go with Canadian prices. I believe the pH up and down was
$20.
$20 for us for both of them.
10, 12
Okay,
bucks
so that's-
American.
So about 10, 12 maybe in the American, and then the meter itself I think was 30.
Yeah.
It was 15 for each of them, so it was like a pack of 30, so it was 30. So it wasn't so bad.
About $25-$30 American then.
Yeah. Give or take, yeah.
We got it all off of Amazon.
Yeah, we got it all off of Amazon.
That gives us an
Okay.
idea. That may be something we put on our prize wheel. I like that. I like that idea.
Yeah,
that's very
that would be a great prize to put on the prize wheel for Saturdays and such.
the whole kit. I'm talking about the whole kit without the caboodle, but the pH up and down and the two little meters you had there, right?
Yeah, you can look them. Actually, I'll send you the links that I have. I can find the links and I'll
Okay.
send them to you, Jesse, on Instagram
Okay.
there, so that you
Perfect.
can look them up on your end, because I don't know.
Right.
So you have a Canadian version, and you can look it up for the American side too. So you have both of them for the prize wheel.
Okay.
But yeah, I'll
Well-
send links.
Well, here's what we'll do. If a Canadian wins, we'll give them the Canadian version. If an American wins, then we'll give them the American version.
That's what I was thinking. Exactly. You can have both versions, and then you're good to go. So, but yeah, it's been tremendous. Like I said, we couldn't figure out why our seedlings were dying off, and then we found we did some more research, and we're like, why does it say pH on the seed packages?
And you're talking about, so once you adjust the pH, let's say you have your jug of water that you use for watering your plants, and you've adjusted that pH. Once you adjust it once, you don't have to do it again, right? I mean, until you can use it, it doesn't change.
Yeah, what we do is we do test, like we made up big jugs ourselves before, and we've got a 4-liter jug, and we've used it. Now I got to be careful because we also have the misting system that we pH balance the water in the misting system, which is about 4 liters. So if you take like a 4-liter jug and you pH balance it, it will stay pH balanced for a good 2 weeks. You're going to go through the water faster than that.
Perfect. Yeah.
But always, to be on the safe side, always check before you do use it, just in case something may have, because sun could have got to it. Anything could have, a little bit of heat, too much heat in the house could have easily made it change, and so on and so forth. So as long as you're making sure you check it before you use it, you're good. You should be good to go for at least 2 weeks. At least that's what we found.
So, what is the worst plant you've ever tried to indoor garden with, and why was it such a bad experience? We've only got a few minutes, so I wanted to get to that question.
The beets. They were the worst plants ever. When they finally did decide they wanted to grow, it was so slow, and they didn't grow the actual beetroot. It was just the greens. No, each time we tried them, they were one of the worst. And then another one we had some issues with is the lavender.
Lavender is a tough one.
It is another tough one, which Chris loves these trees, and we've tried them now several times. He loves Bruce spruce. So blue spruce.
I think Mom likes
We've
those.
now tried, I think it is 3 times to grow blue spruce. We got close with one of our little seedlings, but unfortunately the rain was too much for the little guy, and he perished this past summer. So, yeah.
No.
So it was the beets, lavender we have a little bit of an issue with, and then the trees we tried to grow. It just didn't work.
Well, maybe the Canadian rain is not pH balanced.
That's exactly it. Yep. It's not pH balanced properly.
Gotta pH that rain.
All right. So that was all the questions that I had. Do you want to talk about your channel a little bit and what you would recommend people with?
Just, our channel is pretty much family. We're family oriented, do a lot of cooking and gardening, as everybody sees. And we're actually a family who likes to spend time together. So I'm also one that I know that there's been a lot of press around people forcing their kids to do like content. I don't do that. If my kids don't want to be in a video, they don't have to be. I remember I did a video on the Saker saw, and Bella wanted to give her opinion, but she didn't want to be on camera. So I held up the box in front of the thing while she talked.
Aw, that's nice.
So we just like being together and such. Being as a family and sharing our life. The reason why we started the channel was just that, sharing our life with our family members that don't live here and such. Because my mother passed away 3 months before we started the channel, and it was hard for her because she wasn't technologically savvy. So it was hard for her to see the kids and everything. So I have family still back in Ontario, and we wanted to preserve the memories for the kids too, for when they got older. And different things like recipes that been passed down and such. So, and it just kind of snowballed from there.
That's awesome.
Well, just a random unrelated question. Have you put anything unusual in the 3D printer before?
Like, what do you mean?
So what does that mean?
So what it takes, like, Have you
It takes
put,
plastic filament.
right. Have you put anything else in it before?
I don't
No.
think you're supposed to.
You're not supposed to, but there are different types of things. There is something called a carbon. Is it carbon? Chris, if I'm getting that wrong, let me know. Bicarbonate, there's a filament that way. There are specific printers that can print, and believe this or not, chocolate.
Really?
Yep.
Nice.
They're just new. There's a 3D printer that Chris watches. It used to be Nero. I think it's Canuck something. He's a Canadian. He has a video on his about that. He got one of the first chocolate 3D printers. So yeah, you can 3D print chocolate, stuff like that.
What
Most
about
of the time,
3D? Can you 3D print zucchini?
I don't think you can do
Why
that.
would
no.
you?
Well, you can, but I don't think it would be edible.
Why would
Plastic,
you?
you know.
And so we can send it to KK.
There you go. You're gonna get a zucchini paperweight.
Don't make me throw out a
Zucchini
gift, Mr.
paperweight.
Jesse.
Oh my goodness.
That's very cool.
So I don't know if there was a couple of questions in there. KK starred. I have them starred up there. I don't know
Yes.
if you got to them.
I did see. So one question is, can you leave carrots in the ground over winter? My grandmother did 50 years ago. I'd be inclined to say yes. I don't think we've ever tried it because the ones we keep over winter are usually garlic and things that...
No, I think we've done carrot over winter.
Wait, no, yeah. Sorry, I was thinking of a different plant. We've done carrots in the ground over winter. And as long as it's like a plant that's in the ground, like garlic, we usually find that they do really well over winter.
Now, I think Ann Garvey is in Canada, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think maybe she may be asking for in Canada. Can you?
I have never. I can honestly say I've never tried it. Some other friends that down here, Rem's family and stuff, they may have better answers than I do. I've never actually tried leaving carrots and stuff in the ground. So
Now, we are not Canadian, but
You're close.
because yeah, we're close. But because our dad made a vineyard when we were little, I kind of got to grow up around those science projects because he was like pursuing a degree in plant science while he was doing that. So one of his research papers was actually about snow as an insulator. So
yeah, I forgot about that.
So it was a very cool experiment because we put like a bunch of salt in a bag, and we put the bag over where the roots of the plant would be, and then
I like completely forgot about all of this. I was like 7.
and then it was cool because like then you watch how each plant behaves with those and if they're a better insulator. And one of the things he learned about it is that snow, since it's white and it reflects the warmth of the sun, it actually keeps the plants underground a little warmer, which is why having a lot of snow over winter is better for a vineyard than it is to have a very mild winter as far as snow goes if it's cold, because it'll keep it like a little bit warmer. So especially like if you're in a snowy climate, I'm sure like carrots, garlic, etc. should do really well because of that blanket barrier. So I'd be inclined to say, yeah, you can do that.
I totally forgot about that.
You did like most of the work on that.
I know. Now I remember, but I totally forgot about that whole.
We spent like
experiment.
two weekends just filling
Salt.
50 plastic Ziploc bags full of rock salt.
oh wow.
It was a lot.
I completely forgot. Oh my gosh.
So
We did
there's
so
that.
much of that, and I completely forgot.
There's another one here. When carrots left to go to seed, can you still eat them in the springtime?
I don't know if we've ever.
I don't know.
So I know our carrots have gone to seed sometimes, and because the root is already established, I would think that it's still fine. But we usually harvest our carrots before they go to seed, so I'm not positive. But because the root's already developed, it should be fine.
Yeah.
I would think that if it goes to seed, that might be what causes like a woody carrot.
Right. Now I know some of that is plant variety because Bunky's grown some white carrots, but I think it would probably impact something because all of a sudden the plant is putting energy less in the roots and more on reproducing.
Yeah.
But I don't think it should impact it that much. It should be fine. Oh wow. She keeps like showing
I
this.
keep showing KK all these pictures of 3D printed chocolate.
I shouldn't have told you about that. Yeah, you can it's like yeah, you can. It's amazing that you can 3D print chocolate. And I noticed that Xander in the Eggs Xander, he mentioned that there are different types of plastic. You have to be careful. There are food grade types and there are non-food grade types. And if you want to be like, I think it's Heavenly Hills Homestead, he does food grade because he sends seeds and so on and so forth. So everything he does is food grade. But for like little knickknacks and stuff like that, a lot of people use like PLA and such like that. Like we've got a couple of, they're over there right now. I can't get them. We got a couple of Pikachus that, Pokemon Pikachu that hold a little fishing rod and they holds a tea bag. It sits on the cup, on the edge of your cup, and holds your tea bag while it's steeping. So
That's cutest.
That is
So-
so cute.
I got a question about your 3D printer. So you mentioned the 3D printing of the mold for the plant,
The
or
pot,
plant
yep.
mold, or whatever. Yes.
Yep.
So when you're talking about making a 3D planter, are we talking like days or hours? How long does it take to make something like that?
it depends on what it is. I think it was the Pikachus took. I think it was only a couple of hours because they're really small. And we actually 3D printed a duck on one of our lives. It was like a little tiny duck with a top hat and a cape and such. In an hour live, we did it in 1 hour. But the pots, depending on which one, I think the bases were. Oh, honey, you're gonna have to help me out here. Thank you. The pot took 15 hours. So this pot itself, took 15 hours to print. Now you also have to take into consideration that's all of the different layers. That's the infill, and you can see that it's got a texture to it.
Yeah.
Right.
It's got a little bit of a texture. It's called fuzzy skin. It's got a texture to it. So that takes a little bit of time as well. So, but that took 15 hours. The base itself, like this base here, I'm reading the chat because I have it off to the side so I can see. This base here part took 12 hours, and the labels and stuff, which I can't see because of the heart. So the labels and these things here were about an hour and a half. So it all depends on how much filament it's going to take, how big the part is. And Chris had to design all of this. This is not something you can go online and find. There's different sites that you can go to, like Thingiverse, where you can find things like preprints, like the Pikachus. That's where I found the Pikachus, was on Thingiverse. Chris actually designed all these using a CAD program.
That's awesome. Good for him.
So yeah, depending on what side, what it is, how dense it is, how many layers, stuff like that, all depends on how long it will take to print. And it also depends on the filament that you're using, because PLA is less heat resistant. It doesn't like heat very much, but the PETG has better heat resistance. So
Nice. That's awesome. And it's probably better because it's under lights all the time.
yeah, well, that's just it is. That's what we were looking for when we were thinking about this. Was like, okay, well, we're gonna have grow lights, and he actually has plans. You'll notice here. Let me pick it up again. You notice the top here? It has holes.
Mm-hmm.
He has plans to not only have a piece that will have a light that will attach here, but he's got smaller rods that will go here and hold for drip irrigation.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
He's been fiddling around with that so that we can like have a drip irrigation system too with it. So I don't have to water them and such as often. So he's been playing around with that too. And he's, like I said, he's been designing this all on this CAD program. So.
Now, when you run this printer to make your flower pots or your growing pots, does it put out or does it emit any kind of fumes? No.
Well,
Not that I've ever smelled. The most you're going to smell is to clean off the print base, like the printer print where it goes on. We use nail polish remover. So when it first heats up, you smell that burning off of it, because that's what it's the best thing to use. But Chris has sat down there right there watching it, and never any real smell from the actual printing itself. So
Nice. That's very cool.
and yeah, he says new printers are faster. Like we have an Ender 3, so it's a little bit of an older model. The newer ones and some other different ones, like more expensive ones, like you can get them cheaply, like small ones that are cheaper, mid-range, like what we have, or more expensive. And the more expensive ones are like enclosed, they're faster, they can hold the filament in the actual printer, like they can do multiple different colors at once and such. So it's all depends on what you're looking to use it for. So,
Hmm.
and there's so many different things you can do. It's not just knickknacks and pots. We've used it to make fasteners. We've made an actual light, like a YouTube light that we use for YouTube. It's adjustable, so it has like the bendies and then the screws and everything like that. We've used it to fix Chris's tablet holder. Even the bracket on the tablet holder broke, so he 3D printed himself a new bracket and to fix his tablet holder.
That's so cool.
It's
That
one
is
of those
awesome.
little arms that comes down. So it has many different properties or uses for it, practical uses even.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
There was a few things I wanted to bring up. Earlier in chat, they were talking about the new hurricane. There's another one. So people like Miss Dana and Be Charming who are in the path of that hurricane. We are praying for you guys. Make sure you guys are staying safe. That's a really scary thing to go through, and there's been a lot of them recently. So be careful out there. And the other thing I wanted to bring, Miss Lisa, how is your winter? How is your winter indoor garden doing? We've done a few things indoors, but not as much yet this year.
I haven't done much since we've had a trip last month. We have a trip coming up, and then in December we're going up to Oregon for Christmas and New Year's. But I do have
Got a
some
ton of
cherry.
tomatoes out there.
Well, that's outside.
Yeah.
But inside here, I just have like 3 pepper plants and 1 cherry tomato plant. And so the cherry tomatoes, I've gotten like 4 tomatoes off it so far. But the peppers had just blossomed, so now they're growing. I don't remember what kind of peppers they are, so I don't know. But they're green. They're green right now, but they're a little bitty. So I don't know if they're bell pepper or jalapenos. So
that's awesome. It's great. It is 7:04. I don't think Mr. Joe is live again. I can't find it at least. But Oodles and Caboodles of Crafts, I love your name and hello. Hi, Cindy Squirrel off grid. I don't know why I'm having an issue.
You're fine.
And Nanny Tam, thank you guys so much for being here. And thank you again to Miss Tiffany for being here. You have such a cool setup, and it was great to kind of pick your brain on that.
Thank you.
And thank you to Mr. Jesse and Miss Lisa for being here. You guys are great co-hosts. And also our other co-host, Mr. Bushcraft Family, is going through a really hard time right now. You can go to his channel to see some updates, but his son was in the hospital and he's home now. And they're still going through a lot. So we're praying that he gets better, and we encourage you to go check him out. Maybe play one of his playlists.
Yeah.
Hey, Leonard Mountain Homestead, thank you so much for coming. But this was really fun. Thank you so much for being here.
Awesome.
Thanks for having me. It was really fun. I didn't realize that was the last interview though before it was wrapping up.
You are the last interview of the season. So this has actually been a super cool series. The amount of people we've been able to come and talk to on here, and it's just been a great learning experience. Like I've gotten a lot out of it, interviewing all these people. And everyone's had like such a cool and unique way of approaching gardening. Like you do indoor gardening, and Miss Lori has this project that she spent all year trying to figure out how to like squash, and like there's all these different things that you guys are doing, and that is the coolest. So thank you guys for letting me interview you this year, and I hope I can do this again next year. But thank you so much for doing this with us, and thank you to the people in the chat for being here, and for sticking with us like the whole year. Like it's kind of crazy that the season's like ending already.
I know, it's like a blink of an eye. It was like we're getting the seeds, and then all of a sudden it's like, what happened? Where'd the year go?
It's over.
It's over.
So next week there's going to be another Sunday before the big giveaway, and that Sunday is going to be an open panel for the people who have already submitted a final video. We've asked a few people if they'd like to be on, and we will see who ends up coming. So if you guys would like to potentially be on here, make sure you get that final video submitted, tag it, Survival Seas 2024. You have to say final video somewhere on there, or do what Miss Tiffany did and put it everywhere, because that works just as well. Make sure you don't miss it. And also, if you want, you can just send us an email that you've completed it, just so we don't miss it, because it's getting harder to find videos in a very, very full hashtag. But we definitely want to see your videos and your takeaways from it. And we definitely want to have you on the wheel and as a panelist. So get in touch with us if that's something you're interested in. And I think that's all I had to say. But next Sunday is going to be a panel of gardeners who have done the collaboration with us with those 2 videos. And then after that, we're going to have more of that style live after the Saturday, which is giveaway. So again, you guys have until the 18th to put a final video on, and then it'll be the 19th at Lazy Days Ahead. And I'm really excited for that. It's going to be really, really fun. There's so many giveaways and so many contributors, and it could not have turned out better. So thank you guys so much for this. This has been amazing, and we can't do any of it without you guys. So thank you. Miss Jennifer has a question for Miss Lisa before I wrap up.
Oh, yes, it's actually from This Farm Wife. That's her channel
This
name.
Farm Wife. Yeah,
Nice.
Meredith. Her name is Meredith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Miss Nanny. We are live on Thursdays over on Vineyard Chicks, which is
Love Homestead.
Oh, right.
it was in here earlier.
Vineyard Chicks, but without any.
Yeah, it's our other channel. It's our music channel. It's a music live if you guys are interested. And thank you again to Miss Nanny for being there, and Miss Grace, and I don't remember who else is in there,
Misha was
but
there.
Miss Misha. Thank you guys so much for being there. It was a lot of fun. So if you guys are interested, that's on Thursdays at 1 p.m. The next Survival Seed will be 6 p.m. next Sunday, and then I don't remember what time the Saturday one is going to be over on Lazy Days Ahead.
5 p.m.
5
Central.
p.m. Central.
Oh, okay. So same
On the
time, but on
19th.
a Saturday
On
instead of a
Saturday.
Sunday.
Yes.
On the 19th, yeah.
On the 19th. But thank you guys so much.
Yeah. We'll be putting out the thumbnail here the next day or two, so you'll have to be able to
Woohoo.
share it out and
Get notifications.
mark your calendar, get notifications and so forth.
I've been having to do that a lot. Like all of the lives I remember, like, oh, they're going to be. I like literally will always forget if I don't do the thing. But thank you guys so much for being here. Gonna wrap up because we're a little bit over time, but thank you guys so much. This was a ton of fun and really appreciate it. Have a great night.
Thank you, Tiffany.
Thanks for having me. Bye, everybody.
Bye.